Hello, this is Flexitions. Today we are going to demonstrate the coloring process on our stainable flexible transition moldings. This is our most current staining and finishing video, and today is July 15th, 2017. And we're going to go step by step on what to use and how to do it. So we're going to start off by showing unfinished T-molding is what we're coloring here. And it's a very simple few-step process to complete the coloring and finishing of this product. And we're going to start off by sanding the molding. And what you're going to use is 150 grit sandpaper, and you're going to lightly sand it. So we're going to go ahead and start that process right now so you can see. What we're doing first is we're sanding the edges only because it's just easier to do it that way. And you can see we're giving it a very light sanding. Our product is manufactured with wood grain in the product, so you don't want to over sand this. What you're doing with this light sanding is basically opening the pores of the molding, and will allow the molding to absorb stain. And you can see it's a very light sanding, and it's producing a very small amount of powder and dust. And you can see that there's just a little bit of white dust on top of the sandpaper. And you can see that that's all the sanding that the molding requires. The reason you want to use 150 grit is it opens up the pores perfect. You don't want to use 100 grit or an 80 grit because it'll over sand it, damage and scar the surface of the molding. And a 200 grit sandpaper is not strong enough to actually open the pores. So after you sand it, you're going to just take a rag and you're going to lightly wipe it down. And you also want to make sure you clean your surface area, your working area, and remove all the dust so you don't happen to pick up some dust with your stain and get that on the molding as you're coloring it. So that's the sanding process. You can see it just takes a minute, and it's very simple to do. Then what we're going to do is we're going to apply a wood wiping stain, and we ourselves use Minwax water-based stain. We get this from Sherwin-Williams. They actually custom color these stains to our specifications, and what we do is we will take a piece of wood flooring to them, and they will take a clear tint based stain, and they will add pigments to achieve the color that we want. This is something you can also do if you want an exact match on your floor. You can take a piece of your flooring to a local paint store, it doesn't have to be Sherwin-Williams, and get a water-based stain and have them color match it to the color of your floor. So we do not recommend oil-based stains. We do not recommend gel stains. If you do use a gel stain, it can take up to 5 days for the gel stain to dry before you can apply clear coat to it. And oil-based stains tend to take longer. They will eventually dry, but it's a very long process. So we recommend a water-based or a solvent-based stain. And when we ship out our moldings, we actually put finishing instructions in the moldings, in the packages, and it gives you a step-by-step as we're doing here. So what we're doing is we're following our finishing instructions. So we're about to color an unfinished T-molding that we just finished sanding, and we're using there again a water-based wiping stain. And it's very simple to do, and these are our techniques. We take a rag, a white t-shirt material rag, and we fold it in half, we dip it in the can, and then we start to apply. So this is how we do it. You can start there. What we do is we like to do the sides first. It's just a little easier to handle that way. Now we're going to go back and wipe it off. And now we're going to do the other side. Okay, now that we've colored the sides, we're going to start on the top. And there is a little technique to this. What we recommend you do is try to start on one end and go all the way to the other end as fast as you can. And then go all the way down the molding from one end to another and wipe off. What you're doing is wiping off your start and stop points. And then you're going to take a dry rag and you're going to wipe it down very lightly. Now, at that point, you can wipe it off again. And what you're doing here is you're achieving the look and the color that you want, okay? So you're simply wiping it on, wiping it off, and there again, start after you get the stain on, and you want to try to do this quickly because it does absorb in. You want to go back to one end and give it one complete wipe without stopping from one end of the molding to the other. And then you're done. Now, sometimes to achieve darker colors, you got to put multiple layers on, okay? This is one layer, and we're going to hold it up to the camera and show you. This is one layer of stain. Now, we're going to give this a minute to sort of dry a little bit, and we're going to wipe on a second coat. And the reason you want to let it soak in for a minute or two is so you don't wipe what you just put on off. So we want this to be a little bit darker, and there's no limit to what you can do. You can go 2 coats, 3 coats, 4 coats until you achieve the color that you want. So let's go ahead and apply a second coat. And we're going to start again on the sides. And keep in mind when you're coloring a molding, it is a lot easier to do on a workbench as we're doing here than it is after you install it and try to do this on the floor. And on the second coat, you're going to wipe the stain on and wipe the stain off again. Now there's your second coat. Lightly brush it with a dry rag. And there we are with our second coat. It is as simple as that, and you can see we only waited about a minute or so before we applied our second coat. And we're going to hold that up to the camera and let you see what the second coat looks like. And what it did there was darken the color up a little bit. So there's different techniques that you can do with this, and some work fantastic depending on what your floor looks like. There's a lot of different wood and laminate floors out there that are multi-tone, or shaded rather, light and dark spots. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you how you can create some light and dark spots by putting the stain on and wiping it off in areas heavy and wiping it off in areas light. So if you wouldn't mind, let's apply a second coat and just sort of create some shading, some light and dark spots on it. And if you're, you can practice on anything, a scrap piece of our material, a piece of wood, it'll function the same way, and that way you can sort of two-tone what you're doing. Now, create a two-tone. So you're not going to wipe it off everywhere. You're going to just hit and miss spots. And that type of technique, it creates the shading that I'm talking about, where you can have high and low definitions of the color on your molding. Okay, so we're done with that part of the process. And as you can see, it's very simple to do. And the most important thing that you can actually do for yourself when you purchase Flexitions Stainable Flexible Moldings is follow and read the very simple instructions that are zip tied in an envelope, in a plastic envelope, that say instructions on the inside. Please read these, and if you're having an installer do it, make sure he reads the instructions and follows the instructions. And as long as you follow these very simple instructions, you'll be very happy and pleased with the results. So at this point in time, the product is completed and with coloring. The next step is we're going to let it dry for a little while. We're gonna do it right now instead of letting it dry. But we're going to apply a coat of polyurethane clear coat. The product that we use, I actually buy this on Amazon. It is made by Varathane. You can get this product at Lowe's or Home Depot, or even order it on Amazon. And it is polyurethane water-based clear coat. It's high traffic formula, and it's made for floors. So we're going to apply this product on here with a sponge brush that you can buy for 99 cents at any hardware store or big box store. We used a 2-inch wide one. You want to make sure you mix the can up or shake the can up very well, because this type of material, it tends to separate. So you want to mix it before you apply to the molding. And one more thing before we get to the clear coat process. If for some reason you're not happy with the look you created and you want to start over again, it's very simple to do. You just get a wet rag with acetone, not water, but acetone. Soak the rag in acetone, and you're going to wipe the molding off and remove the stain that you had just applied, and let that dry, and it dries very quickly, and you can reapply stain and start over again. So with that being said, we're going to start the clear coat process. This part of the process, we do recommend that you install it by gluing the molding down to the floor. Tape the molding off on both sides and apply this clear coat while it's on the ground. You don't have to do it that way, but we recommend that you do it that way. And as you can see, he's just brushing it on, sort of heavy, with a sponge brush. It will dry perfectly clear. And again, you want to make sure it's a water-based polyurethane clear coat that you're using. Then, after you apply a coat, let it dry for 5 minutes and apply a second coat. You can even apply a third coat. And that'll give you some very, very good durability. You will not walk this color off as long as you seal it with a good coat of polyurethane clear coat. And that's it right there. As you can see, the process is extremely simple to do. Anybody could do it. Don't be intimidated to color your own molding. I think the most difficult part of this is getting the color that you want. And if they don't have it on the shelf at a local hardware store or paint store, you can simply go to a paint store and have them make it for you. And there again, it's Minwax water-based wiping stain is what we use. And then we seal it with a polyurethane clear coat. Does not have to be any one of these two brands. Just make sure they're water-based and you'll be very happy with the results. Then when it comes to installing it, what we recommend you do is, this is a fantastic product that we use. It's made by Loctite and it's called PL ProLine Premium Construction Adhesive. And in the very fine print, you can see it's the polyurethane formula. That's what you want to use. You want to try to stay away from acrylics or different formulas. This product is made of polyurethane for polyurethane, and it will glue this product down very, very, very good. The other thing we're going to ask you to do is do not spot glue this. You want to apply a bead of a bead of glue in this area, and you want to go down the complete length of the molding. And it's that simple. This product grabs very fast, and you might want to apply some weight to the top of it if need be, just to hold it in place, but it will grab extremely quick. And it's as simple as that. Our product is very easy to handle, very easy to color, very easy to install. Follow the instructions and our recommendations, and please remember, we're always here to help you if you have any questions on what to use, how to do it, what type of techniques to use. And you can always reach us at Flexitions.com and go to our contact page. You can email us there, you can call us there, and we'd be glad to answer any further questions. Thank you for stopping by. We look forward to your happiness. Remember, Flexitions.com.